Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day.
Alright, so out in the garage. I've been meaning to put these on the Elko for a while, but I don't think I'm gonna mess those today. Might come out in the morning and throw the new tie rods on there. But it was a eventful day a couple days ago. Got the Monte out. That'll be its own video. I'll try to combine both videos, but try to stretch it out a little bit, make them a little shorter. So I got the Monte out the other day, and it's what I expected. After rewiring the Elko, I was questioning the fans on the Monte, and they're not wired up right. So she got a little hot. I don't think too hot to mess anything up, but you never know. So we'll rewire those. Then I have to top off the coolant also, so that could have played a little bit of part in it. So that's the eventful thing with the Monte. The brakes are working though. I'm not sure when this video will be out, before or after that video. But the brake setup with the brake booster, the vacuum line installed and everything, the brakes feel good. And then we'll come back to the Elko. So the Elko, took it out last Saturday after messing around with the Monte. Got it out last Saturday, cruising around. Everything went fine then, but I forgot I took the rear sway bar off the Monte so I could put on the wheel dollies to turn it around, and I left it off so I could get it back off the wheel dollies. But I had it laying on the floor in front of the drive shaft for the, not drive shaft, the rear end for the Elko. And when I got home, started pulling in the garage and ran over one of the edges of it, and just the shape of it, it rolled it, and pretty much just came up into the Elko. And yeah, I knew I was debating on repainting it, but I don't know. I know it has the runs and everything. I painted this. It was in the middle of a move, so moving out of the apartment into the house within a week. I was moving different trips and trying to paint the Elko, so not the best paint job, but a little disappointed with that. It says it goes all the way from the door. I didn't even see this down here, but yeah, just a scratch all the way up. So yeah, not the best, but it's minor stuff. Like I said, they're not show cars. The body work's not the best on this thing, but that scratch, like I said, it's a pretty deep scratch too. So luckily it didn't dent the fender or the door, which I believe that door is already dented anyway, so save the fender at least. But yeah, I think today it's gonna be some small stuff. So I think I'm gonna come over here and try to remember which one I have. Oh, yep, I did write it down. Fan 1 and fan 2. So it'll be like there. So be these two here. I have to look into that. Do the same thing I did for the Elko. So grab this paper real quick. A little cheat sheet for my to help me understand the relays. So this whole thing might need to come out. But what I'll do, this is a 5-pin. I think I'm only using 4 of them. So yeah, 87, 86, 87A, 85, and 30. So with the Terminator X, we want the fans on a ground trigger. So there's a red and gray wire and a gray and yellow wire for the fans, and that wire you want running to 85. That's going to be a ground trigger. So 30 is going to be your power, and 86 will be I think that would have to go to another 12 volt source, and then 87 will go directly to the fans. So what I'm going to do is retrace that red and gray wire, or yeah, the gray and red wire and the gray and yellow wire from the Terminator X, attach it to the 85, and then the 86 I'm about to run toward, or run that to little distribution block I have coming off the battery. So I think that might be what I start today, and then finish in the morning or some other time. I have about 3 weeks left before I have to have this ready, but we'll get there eventually. And then I'm debating if I want to do a harness bar or just regular stock seat belts in here, which I'm thinking I'm leaning more towards the stock style seat belts. So I'll keep looking into those, but it's just little stuff. It's a little stuff here and there that I need to button up. Also need to find a solution to this. I think just a little antenna, little delete plate or something. I know it look a little awkward, just or out of place, but I didn't close it up when I was doing the body work, so gotta figure some way to close it up. But yeah, hook that up. After the fans, I'll hook the transmission cooler up finally, and hopefully we get it to where the fans are working. I did notice the Tinker, the speedometer as a GPS speedometer, that was working too. So just little things here and there, making some progress with, but I'm not gonna bore you guys talking too much. Enjoy the sunset a little bit. Came out a little bit later when it was a little bit cooler, so it's not 90 degrees at the garage. But yeah, let me get to messing around with this, and then I'll do the same thing like I did with the Elko when I was testing the fans. I'll just go to the handheld, lower the temperature on the fans, see if they cut on like they should. If they do, we're good. If not, we got bigger problems. Alright, so I was wrong. I had it somewhat wired up right. Like I mentioned, so the 85 was actually hooked up to this white wire, and the red wire was hooked up to the 30 on the fuse. So if I plugged it in like that, it would be correct. And then the 87, which will go directly to the fans, that was hooked up right. What I did wrong was the 86. So the 86 on the fuse is the black one, and if you're doing wiring, pretty much black is ground. So that's grounded out. That needs to be ran to a 12 volt source. So what I need to do is take that one off of the ground, because I have it grounded to the frame on that side, and I'll bring it over here and wire those into this junction relay. It's wired up directly to the battery, so I'll wire it up to there to get the 12 volt source from there, and we should have fans. So that was my bad. I know I've had one buddy, he called me the other day asking about wiring up his Cutlass, I believe, or I asked him about the fans, and I went over it with him. So you leave 87A out unless you have like a toggle switch or something, or if you just have a 4-pin relay. Now, don't mind the colors on here. It's kind of just what was on the pre-wired relay or wiring harness. So that's why I had the colors on there. But you just have, I'm not sure if it's going to pick it up or not. You have little numbers on here. So it's going to be 30, 85, 87, 87A, and 86. So, you know, it might not make too much sense, but the 30, that's going to be your main power source or your 12-volt source. Your 85 is your ground. 87 is to the accessory, so to your fans, to a light bar, or whatever. 86 is going to be the trigger. So if you have a temp sensor or something, that's going to be wired up to where 86 is. That makes sense. Just trying to go over that a little bit. So now that I see that, I'll just have to, like I said, remove the ground wire, put that to a positive, and we should be good. We should have the ground trigger wired up to the gray and yellow, gray, and red wires. Those actually come out this side. I had a different one going to that side, and that was grounded. So that's going to, I think there's some other wires from the Terminator X that need to be grounded, and that's where I put it. Yeah, the fans run all the way over here and up here into the box. So it's going to be a little bit easier than I thought. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys. Hopefully I can help somebody out. But I did disconnect the battery just in case. Don't want to have to get another battery, even though it'd be under warranty. So yeah, I still don't have enough wire to run that to the junction box, so I'll finish it up in the morning. Alright, just getting back to the house. You got the conduit. I wish it was this stuff that I have, little, I guess, mesh or braided split loom. That's what it is, split loom. I wish I had some more of that, which I don't believe I do. So for now, conduit will work. It's just going to be tucked behind the fender and wrap down and just go to the transmission cooler. But I do have to change the location of 2 of these wires here. They need to go to, I know it's a mess down there with the wires, but I have a stud for the positive, so the 12 volt. I have a stud on this side. It just running off that junction to this junction over here, and then there's a ground here, so that's where they'll ground to, or the transmission cooler will ground to here. But the 2 for the fans, I believe the 86, those will run to the positive side instead of the negative side. So just have to fix those 2, and we should have cooling fans, and then wire up the trigger and the positive and negative for the transmission cooler, which is sitting right here. So wire these up, get them tucked up out of the way, and we should be good. But after that ride, kind of just want to sit down for a little bit. So I know it's about to get hot on this side of the house, so I'll probably go sit down for a little bit and come out once it warms up. All right, so I got the wires hooked up to the positive side of the battery, or the 12 volt source, and then I started to do the transmission controller or cooler, and I was looking to make sure, because I know I have the instructions somewhere, but couldn't find them right away. But I just wanted to test the fan, and from what I found online, it's a puller, not a pusher, for the fans. So hooked it up to the definitely pulling the air out. Blue's positive, black's negative, or ground. So just remember to hook it up like that. So it's going to be pretty much pulling the air away or out of the bottom of the car instead of trying to push cool air through it. It's going to be pulling it out. So I just want to make sure that was hooked up correctly. Alright, so just looked at it, and remember, I'm not sure which order is going to come out, but there's a video. I was jacking the car up to put it on the wheel dollies to turn it around, and I heard that loud pop. It was the two hangers in the back. Both of those popped off, so I'm about to weld those back on. I might have enough gas to do it. If not, I'm about to get a refill of the gas and put that back on. But it's just one of those learning mistakes. Looking at it now, doesn't look like it's hanging down too low, but it should be about right there. So we'll get that situated, and that'll be another day, but we'll get that fixed. Lift the back of the car up. Probably want to adjust the transmission or the shifter linkage and re-weld that, but it's good I noticed it now instead of like the night before I start loading up on the trailer or something, but we'll get it situated. Boards, I have to add an extension to them. But anyway, what I'm doing, this will be the power wire to the transmission cooler. This will be the ground, so I'm gonna need to add another extension. I'm gonna ground this one directly to the stud on the frame. But yeah, that one will get added down here to the fuse box. Now to find the little adapters and connectors for this fuse box. It's not the regular one, so got all those situated. Just waiting for this to cool down, and then put that ring or that terminal on there. I don't think I have any ring terminals for this or the power one. That'll go from the fuse box to the junction. I don't think I have any ring terminals that size, so I might have to get creative, or I don't want to use these. These are for like speaker wires. I'm sure they'll work, but I like the heat shrink ones. So might have to make one more trip to the parts store. While I do that, might as well go out and grab dinner. But yeah, it's not too bad. Like I said, I'm starting to get the hang of the wiring. I probably won't start it up today in this video to check, make sure everything's working, but it's all the transmission cooler, that fan's working. I have yet to test the alloy works fans, so that's kind of like, I hope they work. If not, I saw some C5 fans on Marketplace for like 35 bucks. So I'm not sure if those would be smaller or larger, or if not, I might have to make the trip to the junkyard, find an Intrepid, which, and now those are, when was the last time you saw an Intrepid? So we'll have to figure something out if these don't work, but hopefully they should work. They're just fans, so I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, just little things here and there. Finish connecting this, and then make the connector for the ground and the positive off the fuse for the transmission cooler. I don't know why I was using this. What was this? Probably like 8 gauge. Anyway, it was a lot thicker than I needed, so I stepped it down to the 14 gauge, I believe. I know I just got one roll. Wiring is getting expensive. I think this was $22 itself. Even the 10-foot, or no, it might have been 20-foot sections. Those were $12. So why not spend $22 and get 5 times as much? If I do any more wiring, of course I'd get probably a different color, a couple different colors. That's what y'all gotta deal with. Y'all hear that? People with kids. But yeah, it'd be nice to have one of those rolls with pretty much all the gauges, all the colors and stuff. You just pull what you need, but not in the budget right now. And then I don't plan, or I'm not doing that much wiring as it is. But yeah, let me stop talking, button this up, and then, like I said, if I feel like it, run to the store today. If not, I could go in the morning. But if I go in the morning, I'll just check with my neighbor before and see if he has a couple. Pretty sure he should have a couple sitting around. Yeah, just 2 ring terminals. That's all I need. These I might need those later on down the road to secure some stuff. Ooh, too big. Well, the ring terminal's good, but I think that connector's too big. Yeah. We'll figure something out. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Alright, so the store run's not gonna happen tonight. Decided to pull the bike in. My buddy's podcast came on, Adam Dory on YouTube, That's Cool Drink. So I'm gonna be watching that. But pretty much just need the 2 ring terminals. Might finally pick up a horn also. Need to hook that up. But yeah, come out, get the ring terminals tomorrow morning, button up some small stuff with it, and then I might start messing around with the radio and the Elco. I just ordered 2 6x9 boxes, and I got some staples also for wrapping it. Like I said, the adhesive's not holding on that well. But yeah, let me get back to That's Cool Drink and catch you guys on in the morning. Alright, so it's been a few days of me taking a break on this wiring. I've been stuck on trying to figure out how to wire up the transmission cooler. Got to the point I actually just ended up emailing derale, their customer support, asking them how it's wired to a relay. Usually they just have a picture of the 2-prong temp sensor, one going to a 12-volt ignition source, the other going to a ground. And I'm like, well, how's that work if it needs to tie into the fan? So they sent me another one, and I'll take one of the prongs off the transmission or the temp sensor, run that to a 12-volt source. The other one's going to come up to the relay to the 85. So the 85 section on the relay, and then the 86, which is usually the trigger, that will be grounded to the chassis. So that's how they said do it. That's how I'm gonna do it. Hopefully that works. Only problem is when I was looking for a 12-volt switch source or ignition source, I used both of them for the Terminator X. Now I know the Terminator X says don't tie them in to the same location, so it's one for the transmission, one for the motor itself. They say don't use the same 12-volt switch source for that. So what I'm thinking is take the 12-volt source from the transmission, splice it to that with the temp sensor, and hopefully we'll be good there. Shouldn't draw too much power from one or the other. Like I said, I don't want to do the one to the main computer just because I think that takes more power. So it should be good. I think the transmission said it's less than like 10 amps or something, and then the single fan's less than 25. So I don't think it should be a problem. Even though it's a 30 amp fuse, so I don't think it's going to draw that much from the temp sensor. As if it was hooked directly up to the fan, it would draw more, but it going through a relay, I think we should be good. So did have to grab both books, double check everything, and there was another accessory wire I think I could pin out through here, but I think that same one is what I tied in to the inside of the ECU, so that's a no-go. So yeah, it's been a few days. I've been messing around with the Elco a little bit. I'm not sure when the video is going to come out, but you see I'm switching up the look in here. Have some stuff coming for that. Picked up a new sponsor for the channel. I know I'm still a small channel, but the social media networking is starting to pay off. Larger companies are starting to reach out, or just pretty much networking with these companies and just tagging certain companies in videos, giving them a shout out. You never know who might reach out to you. So been in the talks about it. They said they're going to send out some stuff for the Elco, and then I mentioned some plans for the other cars, the PT, LS Swap PT Cruiser. So I'm gonna see if they want to be on board for to sponsor that a little bit also when it comes down to the fuel system and the injectors. I don't want to give too much away just yet, but we're working on it. But yeah, let me finish knocking this out. I think I'm about to change this wire. No. What is it? So this one needs to be on the positive side. This one's the ground from the fans. I'm gonna have to tie into the 86 section of the relay for the transmission cooler, and that would be grounded, and then the 85 would be going to one side of the temp sensor. The other one's going to go inside to the 12-volt source. So I don't think I'm going to be able to test the transmission cooler out until I run it for a while, which I don't plan on running it just yet. But I can test out the fans just by lowering the well, no, I think I'd still have to cut that on also, unless, yeah, I think I'd drop it all the way down to 0 and see if they'll cut on or not. But yeah, let me knock this out, and I know it's going to be a longer video all over the place. I'm going to knock it out, try to test them, and then and then let you guys know how it worked. I know this is a little confusing for me. I was caught up on the transmission cooler for a while, but I think we're getting there. Alright, so everything's hooked up, battery's hooked back up. So what I'm going to do now is take the handheld for the Holly, and it's always difficult trying to record with one hand. Let's do it this way. So, took the handheld for the Holly. And adjust the fans. This might take a while. I might have fan off temp must be below on temp.
It might be too low, but you get the idea. There it goes. Both fans are working, so we're good there. Not gonna have any overheating issues. What I do want to check though, is make sure that both pullers are, yeah, so they're pulling the air through. We're good there. Transmission one, like I said, that's going to be different. I'm gonna have to wait till the car's actually warmed up and do all that. But just one more step though, just helps out a bunch. And I'm gonna sit here and figure out where I want everything to cut off at. Alright, so still gotta mess around with this a little bit, but you guys get the point. I know I mentioned in my last one about the Tinker Dash and the cluster replacement. I sent the guy another message, and he replied. He said he's just been busy. I guess he saw the message that, you know, you can see it. Somebody reads it on Instagram, but he might just scroll past it. And so he said he should send me something Monday to show me what the concept's looking like and have something for me after the holiday, which I'm assuming July 4th. So if I can get that before the 9th, get it all installed, it would be perfect. If not, I'm about to fab something up. I've already been working on a little bit. Little cardboard aided design. So we'll see. Hopefully he gets me a concept out and we could go from there. But other than that, need to take this out, staple it down, because like I said, that adhesive I used on this and the Elko wasn't working, so figure that out. Get this kick panel back in, mount the ECU, get this all situated, and we'll call it a day. But I guess the only way I'm going to be able to find out if the transmission controller is working like it should is to warm up the car, but right now it's on the ramps and I don't feel like starting it up, mess with anything. There's still a few things I have to tighten up under the hood, so that'll be a later date. I know I'm talking, rambling a lot, but that's it for this one. It's getting hot in the garage.